Hello, wonderful students. You are welcome to Scenic Online Tutorials, where numbers and success begin. All right, today we are going to learn ratio and proportion. So, by the end of today's lesson, you'll be able to write ratio in three different forms and also simplify ratio. And the last one that we do is to share a quantity in a given ratio. So by the end of today's lesson, these are the objectives that I want you to achieve or you to know. So with that much I do, let's dive into it. Now when we say ratio is comparison of numbers, or when you are comparing numbers, that is ratio. So we use ratio to compare numbers. And also we use ratio to share numbers, to share a given amount of something or a given amount of what? Any item or money, anything. Now, what is ratio? Ratio, for example, here, if I have three, let's say that there are six boys in a class and there are four girls in a class. The ratio of boys two. So the ratio of boys to girls will be 6, because we mentioned that 6 to girls, so to be like this, 6 to girls, and have this the 4. So the ratio is going to be 6 to what? 3, sorry, 4. 4. So this is what we call ratio. Don't worry, if you don't understand anything, I'm going to explain everything for you, okay? So let's take this here. So there are three ways to write ratio. We can write ratio in a column form. So have you seen this? Colon. Okay, so you can write ratio using colon. That is, I can write 2 to 3 as 2:3, and it's being read as 2 to 3, the same way like this one, 2 to 3. Way back, our teachers were saying 2:3, but the correct, way is 2 to 3. And also, we can write ratio in a word form. That is using the word two to write ratio. That is what is written here. So that is 2 to 3. The 1 2 is there. And a ratio is not a fraction, but it can be expressed or can be written in a fraction form. Okay, so even though ratio is not a fraction, but we can express ratio in what? In a fraction form. So for example, this expression here can be written as 2/3. So the first number here becomes the numerator or the top number, and the 2 become the fraction bar. So if you see here, the column becomes the fraction bar and the 3 become the denominator. In what we are going to meet a lot, we're going to meet this expression a lot and this one a lot. And then we're going to change this expression to fraction. This is what we're going to meet a lot. Okay. So anytime ratio can be written in a column form, word form, or fraction form. Now see how we can use ratio to share an amount of money or any given quantity. Let's see how. So basically we are going to use addition here. We're going to use division here. We're going to use multiplication here. So these are the things that we're going to use now. But let me explain it for you. Now we have this share 200 Ghana cedi between Amma and Kofi in a ratio of 3 to 2. Now let me explain this one for you now. Now the 3 out of 2 means that now we go by the name. So Kofi and Amma. So we have Kofi and Amma. I have ratio 3 to 2. So it means that respectfully, 3 here is for Amma and the 2 here is Kofi. Why is it for Amma? No, the question didn't say that the 3 is for Amma, the 2 is for Kofi. But what we do is that because Amma, the name of Amma comes first, or Amma's name comes first, and the ratio 3 comes first. We are giving the 3 to Amma, and Kofi, because Kofi comes last, and then issue 2 here, 2 comes last. We give the 2 to what? To Kofi. So Ama and Kofi, 3 and 2. I've been saying it works together. So this 3 here is for Ama, and this 2 here is for Kofi. But what does it mean? 3 to 2. What does it mean? It means that when we are sharing this amount of money, Ama is going to take 3 parts of the money. Ama is going to take 3 parts of the money, and Kofi is going to take 2 parts of the money. Have you seen it? So Ama will take 3 parts of the money, and Kofi will take only 2 parts of the money. So let's solve it together. So what you do is that because, and I'm using the word because they've given us total amount of money that they are going to share, we need to look for total ratios. So total ratio. So what about total ratios? Total ratio. So let's look for total ratio. So total ratio is, we're going to add these ratios together. This is not ratio, this is the amount. And this is how they're going to share the money. So we're going to add the total ratio. So we have 3 plus 2. And 3 plus 2 is going to give us what? 5. And this 5 means 5 parts. So the money is going to be shared in 5 parts. Don't be confused here. I'm going to explain it for you, okay? So why? The reason why we've looked for and the total ratio is that they've given us total amount of money. So always I tell my student that total ratio go with total amount of money. So when they give total amount of money, you will find total ratio. But if they don't give total amount of money, you won't find total ratio. I will explain that one in the next question. Okay. So here we found total ratio because they've given us total amount of money that they are going to share. And then so this is the addition that I'm talking about. So we've done addition by finding the total amount of ratio, so total ratio. Then we move to division. How are you going to do the division? Division means that we are going to what? Divide the 200 Ghana cedis by 5. So 200 Ghana cedis divided by 5 is going to give us what? 40 cedis. And what does it mean? This 40 cedis is called 1 part. Let me take this one out. It's called, this 40 currency is called 1 part. So this is the 1 part. And let me explain the meaning of 1 part to you guys. So it means that when we are sharing the money, we are going to share the money, everybody is going to take 40 Ghana cedis. Everybody will take 40 Ghana cedis. So the 200 Ghana cedis has been changed in 40 cedis, 40 cedis, 40 cedis. Let me use this one to explain for you to understand. So we have 200 cedis there, but we don't have 200 cedis one. We have 40 cedis, 40 cedis, 40 cedis there. So if I'm sharing, I'll give 40 cedis to one person, I'll give 40 cedis to another person. But I'll give 40 cedis to one person, and I'll give another 40 cedis to another person. But this is how it's going to be shared. Because Ama is taking 3 parts of the money, that is, Ama is taking 3, ratio is 3. It means that Ama will take 3, and it means that Ama will take 40 Ghana cedis, 3, and Kofi will take only 40 Ghana cedis, 2. Again, it means that Ama will take only 40 Ghana cedis, and Kofi will take only 40 Ghana cedis, because the money has been changed in 40 cedis, 40 cedis, 40 cedis, and I'm sharing it. But Ama is taking 3 parts of the money, and Kofi is taking 2 parts of the money. So 200 cedis is there. If I'm giving, I will give 40 cedis 3 to Ama, then I'll give 40 cedis 2 to Kofi. Then I'm done with the sharing. So let's do. So Ama share. Let me find for the Ama share. Okay, Ama share. So Ama's share. Ama's share is going to be 40 cedis plus 40 cedis plus 40 cedis, which is going to give us what? 120 cedis. Or we have another way of solving it. Or it's simply 3 times 40 cedis. And then we get the same amount. We get what? 120 Ghana cedis. But because we are dealing with money, we must show the unit of the money, else this answer is wrong. So the 120 cedis, I'll write in cedis. So I'll write Ghana cedis here, and because I want to show the person, I'll add 0.00. So Amma will take 120 cedis because Amma is taking 3 parts of the money, and the money has been changed in what? 40 cedis, 40 40 cedis, 40 cedis, 40 40 cedis. So I will give Amma what? I will give Amma 340 cedis, and I will give Kofi 240 cedis. So Kofi's shares too is going to be, let me do Kofi's shares here. Kofi's share is going to be Kofi's share. So Kofi's share is going to be 40 cedis too. So 40 cedis plus 40 cedis will give me what? 8 Ghana cedis. Who is same as 2 times 40 cedis. Because Kofi's ratio is 2. So 2 times 40 is going to give us what? It's going to give us 80. So I have 80 Ghana cedis. Have you seen it? So let's add it and see. So 80 plus 80 plus 120. When you add this one, sorry, when you add 80 to 180 cedis, 120 cedis, you get the 200 what cedis. So you see that it's equal to the total amount shared. So I will give Kofi only 240 cedis. I will give Amma 340 cedis. I hope it's clear, right? Let's take another question to solve to enhance our understanding. All right, so let's solve this one to enhance your understanding. This particular question to enhance your understanding. Now, this is another example. So we have a bag contains oranges and mangoes in ratio 4 to 3. If there are 28 fruits total, how many mangoes? Now, I have told you this that when they give total amount of the given quantity, you must go by this approach. So it means that if you don't give total amount of the thing, you won't go by this approach. I'm going to teach you different approach. So take note that I said unless they give total amount of the thing. Sometimes they can give you one thing and they don't give total amount. We'll solve it, don't worry. But when they give total amounts and it asks you to find the number of other ones, then you go by this approach plus division times. But let's solve it together. So our solution, solution. Now, a bag contains oranges and mangoes in a ratio 4 to 3. What does it mean? So it means that you must have these skills here. Because oranges comes first, the 4 is for oranges. And because mangoes comes last, the 3 is for mango. Because it's like 4 and 3. Mangoes, oranges, and mangoes. So 4 is for the oranges and the 3 is for the hot mangoes. Sometimes they add the word respectively. That means that it is same thing, but I didn't add this one. So when we see it and with that the word respectively, it also means that the first number is for the first name, that is the oranges, and the last number is for the last name, that is mangoes. Now, because they've given us total 28 fruit total, and they've asked us to find how many mangoes, we go by this approach. So first, addition, we do what? We solve for the total ratio. So first one we do for total ratio. So ratio total ratio, and it's going to be 4 plus what? 3, and it's going to give us what? 7. And I said that it's called 7 what? Parts. It means that we are going to divide this one to 7 parts. That's what it means. So 7 parts. Then you do division by dividing total ratio to total amount. So always remember that total ratio goes with total amount. Total ratio goes with total amount. So total amount or total fruit is 28. So I have 2. I'm going by division. I have 28. That's my workings. This all I'm doing workings. So this is workings. So this is my workings. So workings 2, 28, 28. Let me do the 28 well. 28, 28 Then I'm dividing by total ratio. So this one will come down 7. Then you have 28 and divided by 7 is going to give us what? 4. So it means that 4 parts. And what does it mean? It means that if it's human being, each person will take 4 parts. 4. If I'm sharing it, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. But here is a fruit. But it the same word analogy that I use, or the same word principle. I have 3 mangoes here. So it means that in the bag, we give only 4, 4. This 4, 4, only 3 times to mangoes. Let me put it for you to understand. Or we will use this 4 here to multiply the 3 here. That's for mangoes. So number of mangoes is going to give us number of mangoes is going to give us mangoes. Let me for short. Number of mangoes is going to give us 4. So the ratio of the mangoes is 3. That's the 3 here. So 3 times 4 and it's going to give us what? 12. Or I told you that because here is 3, the ratio is 3, you can see that mangoes will take 4 of them. So mangoes will take 3. The 4 here will take only 3. So we have 4 plus 4 plus 4 because we have 4. Everybody should get 4, 4, 4. But mangoes will take only what? 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3. When you add, we get the same what answer. So the number of mangoes is what? 12. Then I'm done. So we have 12 mangoes. Okay, if they ask you to find oranges, how are you going to do it? So that one, to oranges will take 4. This means that 4 times 4 oranges is going to give us 4 times 4 and we get what? 16. Or can we do this one? 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 is same as what? The 16. But he didn't ask you this, but I'm the one doing as a bonus what question, as a bonus question. So this is how we are going to solve it. This is how you're going to solve it. This is how we are going to solve it. Now let's take the one that they won't give you total amount of the thing, but they'll give you one part and then they'll ask you to find the other part. Let's see how you're going to solve that one too. So let's try this one too. But this one is when you know one person's share, but they won't give you total amount of what? Money or the quantity of the thing, total quantity of the thing. They won't give it to you. With this type of question, we're not going to use addition here. We're going to use only division and also multiplication. So when you know only one person's share, we go by division multiplication and we start with division first and we take what? Multiplication last. Now let me explain this one for you. Amma and Kofi shared money in the ratio to 3 to 2. If Amma received, so this one is the total amount of money. Is what Amma got. Amma received 120 Ghana cedis. How much did Kofi receive? So here they are asking you what Kofi will take or will receive. But Amma had 120 cedis as his share. But we don't know Kofi's own. And they did not give us total ratio. Total did not give us total amount of the money. So therefore we can't use total ratio here. That we 3 plus 2 is going to give us 5. And then we take total ratio because we won't get anything to divide this one with. Because total ratio divides total amount of fraud, the thing. But he didn't give us the total amount of money. So you can't say total ratio divided by 120. 120 is not for total amount, it's for what? It's how much share. It's not total amount. So we're not going to go by this approach. So what we are going to do is this. This is what we are going to do. What we are going to do is that now this money here is for Amma. And I'm doing working, so Ames ratio is 3. And Ames amount, our money received is 120 Ghana cedis. Now listen here. Anytime you know one person's share, I don't want to explain this one further to confuse you, But anytime you have one person share, we use the person's ratio to divide its amount. What am I saying here? So I will use these three here to divide 120 to get one part of the money that Amma received. Let me explain it for you. So we have 120 as Amma's share. So we divide this one. So I'm using a division here. So we divide it by 3 because the 3 is for Amma and that's Amma's ratio. So we divide 3 using 120 CDs. That's Amma's share. So we have 3 here. Now, when you have 120 cities and then 3 people are going to share it, everybody's going to get what? 40 cities, 40 cities, 40 cities. So it's going to 40. And this is a 40 part. And this one is a one part. It's one part. And let me explain it to you guys. Now, it means that when I was sharing the money, I gave 40 cities 3 to Amma. So if Amma is receiving 40 cities, 40 cities, 40 cities 3, Amma will get what? 120 cities. So this is the one that I was giving to them. Take 40 cities. You will take 40 cities. So Amma received 340 cities. That is why she got 120 cities. So it means that Kofi will take 40 cities too. Again, Kofi will take 40 cities too because Kofi is taking 2 parts of the money and Amma is taking 3 parts of the money. So Amma had received 120 cities by taking 40 cities, 40 cities, 40 cities 3. And Kofi will take 2. So Kofi's share is going to be Kofi's share is going to be 40 cities plus 40 cities. Why? Because Kofi is taking 2. That's the meaning of this. Kofi is taking 2 from the money. So 40 cities 2 will give us what? 80 Ghana cedis. Them are the Ghana cedis, the Ghana. And then, or you go by 2 times 40 cedis is going to give us what? That is 80 Ghana cedis. And this is how we are going to solve the question. I hope it's very simple, right? If I confused, can you go back and watch the video again? You're going to understand everything. Let's take another question of the same type and let's see how we're going to solve that one too. Let's solve one more question to enhance understanding. Please remember that you would like this video and you subscribe to the channel. Also, you share this video to help us to reach more viewers. So let's take this one too, and then let's see how I'm going to solve it. Okay, so another example. In a school, the ratio of boys to girls is 5 to 4. If there are 200 boys, how many girls? So this one to the same thing. We're not going to find total ratio because it didn't give us total amount of what? Total number of students leaving the school. They've given us only 2 boys. So the same thing, we use boys ratio to divide boys number. So it's very, very so what has been given to us is boys. So now let's see the ratio of boys first. So what name comes first? We have ratio of boys to girls. So the number of boys is the 5. The ratio of the boys is the 5, and the ratio of the girl is 4 because it comes because boys comes first and the ratio comes first. So boys, I have here boys, and we have here 4, and we have girls. So ratio, you see that is ratio boys to girls. So boys to girls. Have you seen? So remember that column stands for 2. All right. So let's solve together. So the ratio of boys, so the ratio of boy is equal to what? 5, and then the actual number. And the actual number is equal to what? 200. So what do we do? To find one part, so what we're going to do that, we divide 200 by what? 5. And then we get what? We get 40 parts. 40 parts. So with the same approach, it means that girls will take 40 what 4 times, and boys will take 45 times. So we are looking for the girls. What we do that, because here is 40 and I have 4 here, I will write 40 plus 40 plus 40 plus 44 times. Or simply, the number of girls is equal to the number of girls for sure is going to be 4 times 40. So this 4 here times the one part here, that is 40 here. Then I'm going to get what 160 girls in the school. 160 girls in the school. So that is how we are going to solve it. It's very simple. But let's say if they ask you to find a total number of students, how do that? We just add the girls to the number of what boys. Then we get total number of what, students in the school. I hope that is very simple as ABCD. And thank you for watching this video. Remember that you subscribe to my channel and also you like the video and share it to us. So very, very important. Let your friends who have a benefit of what you are gaining here or what you've discovered. Remember that with Nick online tutorials, your A1 is our burden. Next video, we are going to learn how to solve a question like more than. Let me put that before you understand or the difference. So that's what we're going to solve. Maybe Amma is 2 years more than something like that. We're going to solve it here. Thank you very much for watching the video, and it's bye for now.